All right. Hi, Carson. Thanks so much for joining me today, and congratulations on your accreditation with ERT.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Absolutely. So, Carson, can you remind me, when did you join ERT?
Yeah, so I first started kind of near the beginning. It was actually this time of year, so October of 2017 is when I
Hmm.
officially started. I was at the very beginning of my career. I hadn't even been an advisor for really even a year at that point. So
Hmm.
that's when I started.
Awesome. So, been quite a while now. Did anything initially hold you back from working with the VFO? And if so, what changed your mind to start implementing working with the VFO experts?
Like the VFO in particular.
Hmm.
Uh, So no, I mean initially the firm I was with, I think just working out the compliance, I think that was really the only initial hurdle.
Hmm.
Since I've learned a lot in that process and got to the point where I'm like, hey, the VFO is so integral to what I do as an advisor that I literally I won't go to a firm that doesn't allow me to operate that way. So I
Hmm.
was at a firm and initially they were like, hey, yeah, the VFO, outside business activity, it's all great. And then they were like, nope, sorry, we can't do it anymore. And I was like, and I really liked that firm that I was with, but I couldn't, I had to
Hmm.
move because I'm like, I have to have the freedom to operate my business within this business model. And whether that means I have to go to another place or even be completely independent, have my own RIA, whatever the case is, like it's absolutely critical. So that's what I did is I just moved to a place that allowed it, and I won't do anything else at this point.
Great. Thanks so much for sharing that. And can you speak to how adding the virtual family office to your firm's offerings in particular has impacted your clients' perception of your firm?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think it is it is it's the value add that sets us apart from really almost anything out in the marketplace. Like the reason we're having so much success is because of the VFO. I mean, the whole thing too. I mean, not just the VFO, but the CPA relationships and the training, but in particular, the access to the expertise that we have that we can bring to the table that, 99% of advisors down the street, they're not going to have. And so just simply having access to that and oh yeah, is from a client's perspective,
Mm-hmm.
it's like I said, it's totally different. Like we're not trying to compete at the same level as a traditional financial advisor. So from that perspective, we're winning new business. It's not even, in my opinion, a competition. It's like nobody else can do it, so they're going to work with us.
Agreed. And can you share an example of a VFO case that you've done recently and really what that impact has been for your client? And then also what your revenue share was in that given case?
Yeah, that's a good question. It's hard to even like think of one because I would say pretty much almost every case that we're working on is involving the VFO in some way.
Mm,
I mean, so one example was recently we closed a pretty big life insurance case. Um, but it wasn't just the life insurance, it was the fact that, this client was making, $1 to $2 million a year. They sold their business, one of their businesses, and we implemented a multitude of tax planning strategies. I mean, that's really how we won the client over. But in that process, and the client was initially adverse to permanent life insurance, actually,
mm,
um, because he used to be a financial advisor, and they were all about buy the term, sell the or invest the different buy the term, invest the difference, and we're just like, look, man, you got a $20 million liability on your estate tax. Like you need life insurance, like permanent. And so, but he didn't have cash flow, even though he was very wealthy and he made a good income. Um, he was all his money was tied up in these different investments he had. And so we used one of the VFO experts for a premium funded case. And, that was $420,000 a target premium. I did have a business partner, so I went on about a third of that case. The compensation was over 100,000 just for that, just for the life insurance, but I don't know how much we earned on the other stuff. Probably another 20, 30,000 on the tax planning side as well. So it was a good case, and we've got lots of others kind of in that same situation.
I would say that's definitely a good case. So thanks for sharing that one, Carson. And then shifting gears slightly from the client impact over to the CPA impact, have you and your CPA either partner or partners work together? And you touched on this a little bit, but to implement the VFO and their specialties.
Yes. So I would say like 90% of the cases that we're working on are through one of our CPA partners. And we do work with do joint cases with a lot of other financial advisors as well, but probably still at least 80% of the business is through strategic accountants. And it's been a huge benefit to them as well. I mean, we're one of our CPAs, I mean, we basically, I don't want to say saved him, but like he was kind of in a financial difficulty, but like just the money we're generating from the VFO, like it kind of brought him out of a hole. So that was good. And then just, yeah, just the sheer revenue that we're bringing into the CPA firms and the benefit their clients are seeing is it's amazing.
Awesome. And then building on what you just mentioned, kind of financially helping the CPA out of a hole, a rut, are there any other positive changes that you've seen with that CPA partner or other partners, whether it's with their own firm, clients, their personal life, since they have
Yeah.
become a part of their team?
Yeah, and I'm thinking of multiple partners here that like we've literally paid over six figures of revenue on just even a handful of cases.
Mm,
Um, but yeah, one in particular, I mean, we did the 80/20 with Ian, and we looked through his book of business as like, you know, 60% of his clients he could get rid of, and maybe his revenue would drop 10%. And so
mm,
we're currently working on, a plan with him to, because he's just like all the CPAs that we work with, they're overworked and underpaid. And like just helping them to see like, look, you can implement these this business model with your best clients, your top say 20% best clients, and you could pretty much get rid of all the other clients and you could work less hours and they can make a lot more money doing that. And so
mm.
he's kind of sort of had that light bulb, and now we're kind of working on that.
Great. Super, super powerful. Thanks so much for sharing really how you kind of worked with the VFO and how that's positively impacted your clients and your CPA relationships. We're going to shift focus just a little bit to you and your business. And I know through your years at ERT, you have already kind of gone from a one man show to growing your team. But are you looking to further grow? And if so, what would you like to share with your fellow ERT members?
Yeah, we're definitely still growing. We're gonna keep adding team members in the foreseeable future. I mean, probably the end of 2022, so not even 2 years ago, I hired my first person in December. It was literally just me, and that was less than 2 years ago. And now we have 8 people working on the team, and we're likely gonna need to hire more people in the next 12 months. Um,
Mm,
so yeah, we're gonna continue to grow based on the trajectory, and doesn't seem like it's slowing down at this point.
awesome. That's great. And would you like to mentor other ERT members?
Yeah, we kind of already have. We've been working with several members in the group on joint cases. Just because if it's your first time going through some of the stuff, talking with clients about some of the strategies and whatnot and how it works, we definitely help in that. And I'm sure we'll continue to do so as long as we have the bandwidth.
Mm, love it. And I have one more question for you, Carson. What is one word to describe your growth? And that can be personally, professionally, financially, since you joined ERT.
One word, I would say it's kind of tough to say one word, but I'd probably say exponential. is kind of where we're heading. Every year it's just going like that.
Awesome.
Started off slow, but it's continuing to grow.
Yeah, I think that's a great word to kind of encompass everything that we've seen from you and your team so far. So, great insights. Thank you so much for sharing with me and the community. And I look forward to seeing your continued growth and success.
Perfect. Thanks, Tracy.
Thanks, Carson.